Hello and welcome to the 2012 CalArts MFA Writing Showcase. I'm Janet Sarbanes, Chair of the Writing Program, and for 6 more weeks, Interim Co-Dean of the School of Critical Studies. For the past 2 years, the written word has provided a home and a basis for community for the terrific young writers you will hear from tonight. They have braved workshops, endured theses, curated reading series, and produced publications on their own and through their work with Black Clock, our literary journal. They have also learned to teach at CalArts and in the communities who participate in CalArts Community Arts Partnership. In the process, they have experimented with genres, voices, art forms, pedagogies, collaborations, and probably a lot of other things I don't know about. We look forward with high hopes to what they'll do in the world of books and e-books, and in the world at large, at a time when new voices are desperately needed to speak out against inequity, injustice, and suffering. We hope that during the intermission or the post-reading reception, you'll pick up a free copy of this year's Next Words anthology in the lobby, if you haven't already. They're going fast. It's a great-looking volume featuring writing from tonight's readers, and it was a collaboration between the 4 student curators of our Next Words reading series and a graduate student in graphic design. Now for some thank yous. I'd like to thank the wonderful faculty and students of the MFA Writing Program, and the equally wonderful faculty, staff, and administration of the School of Critical Studies, which houses our program. Profound thanks and a fond farewell to our admissions coordinator, John Rutzmoser. And thanks to John, Alicia Manzano, and the staff of REDCAT for making tonight possible. Given the size of our graduating class, tonight's readers will not be able to thank their families and friends individually for their love and support. But believe me, they want to, and so do we. Especially given the day, the mothers. Thank you for coming out. And now for the reading. Introductions tonight will be extremely succinct to keep things moving. All of the readers' bios can be found in your programs. Our first reader is Michael Molich Pope.
Hi, can you guys hear me out there? Okay. Hi, welcome to the Reality Institute's Next Word series, a certified reality product. Tonight we'll feature a variety of young and talented writers from CalArts MFA Writing Program who've been gathered here by the Reality Institute and CalArts and the Reality Incorporated Corporation to answer the big question, why do we write? So why do we humans write? Originally we might suppose that human beings began on this planet naked and helpless, in the words of Buckminster Fuller, exploring the environment with partially closed eyes. And with the acquisition of language, humans were able to exchange vital information regarding their survival. Once a culture began to develop, language was used to transmit information over time via oral histories and eventually written histories. Soon, abstract concepts made it possible to reason large-scale patterns and even to imagine elaborate fantasies. Technologies were created, great wars were fought. Social movements and revolutions took place. And of course, these things are all still happening today, but something is beginning to change. Today, the population of the world, through the use of network communications, is gradually becoming interconnected. Literacy has started to spread across the globe. The histories and cultural practices that were once transmitted via in small communities via oral and written storytelling are now starting to be transmitted to a vast population of 7 billion people. Artists reflect on the nature of existence with abstract symbols, and stand-up comedians do the same, relying on humor. Urban planners attempt to organize efficient cities, and human rights organizations try to utilize unwieldy bureaucracies and grassroots campaigns to ensure the actualization of the disenfranchised. Environmental activists strive to bring the earth to a state of homeostasis. And all of this was made possible with the exchange of ideas brought about by language. Though the process is not yet streamlined, the hive mind is still schizophrenic, there's an awareness breaking through this once naked and helpless collective. This is the first time in history that our species as a whole can look into the mirror of the world, of reality, and ask itself the one question that's always been at the heart of things. Why? Why do we live? Why do we exist? Why do we do things? Why do we write? I want you all to take a moment right now and think to yourselves the answer to the following question. Why are you alive? Just think about it for 1 minute, and then I'd like you to try to summarize that whole thing in a sentence. It will be difficult, obviously, but I think it'll be worth it for the sake of this demonstration that I hope to do. Okay, so if you've thought about it for a minute, I'm just going to give you a moment, and then after that, we're all going to try and say it at once. So even if you haven't thought about anything, just say whatever. That might even be better for the sake of this exercise. So everyone just think about it for a second. I'll count like 5 seconds. Okay, you guys ready? Okay, so on the count of 3, let's all say it all at once. And we'll see how this goes. 1, 2, 3.
To love and be with.
Okay, so, well, I'm glad you guys actually did that. I was a little nervous. Okay, so there you have it. That's our answer. You know, listening to that answer, you can hear the cacophony of the human collective striving to form a basis for its existence. Though any individual might not be consciously aware of the other individuals and their own struggles, we can see that they all exist as a part of a larger group. I mean, this is like a fact of life. We all exist on this planet together. So no single person will be able to answer that why for the whole collective on their own. Instead, what we have to do is the answer has to be carved out through the efforts of this enormous collection of people working alongside each other. And upon reflecting on that answer, we have to think to ourselves, what needs to change? What makes us better at doing this whole thing together? How can we work together to change our social structure in a way that supports more people? And what differences can we put aside as individuals in order to make our civilization flourish and get everybody in this population to reach its full potential? So, as our writers tonight read from their works, the Reality Institute and CalArts would like you to ask yourselves the question, why do we human beings write? And hopefully, when you hear these fine writers read aloud from their work, you'll start to get the beginnings of an answer to that question. So let's welcome our first reader tonight, Evan Chavez, and let's listen closely to what he really has to say. Thanks.
Yay.